Hardly any other game has been in development for as long as Star Citizen, which has received over $600 million in crowdfunding and has been in development since 2012 with more than 1,000 developers from CIG around the world. Their aim was to set completely new standards regarding realism and game immersion, and while there were a lot of bumps and blunders along the way, it seems that this year we are clearly feeling it. Originally promoted as a rich universe focused on epic space adventure, trading, and dogfighting in first person, the original idea of a space simulation has long since become the grand vision of a massive universe in which far more will be possible. The company's founder and head of development is Chris Roberts, who has made a name for himself as a visionary game designer, known for his passion for detailed and immersive game worlds.
Trying to build a world that is so detailed and has such great texture that you forget that it's a game, which is always my goal when I'm building games. I want to build a universe. I want to build a game I always wanted to build, but I didn't have the tools to do until now.
His vision of a complex space sim was already manifested in the early 90s with the development of Wing Commander.
I'm looking fine.
Freelancer, which he developed in 1997, also closely resembles the scale and scope that Star Citizen is striving for. However, the title exceeded its budget and could not meet its target release date, so some more ambitious elements were removed from the game. Nevertheless, the game successfully offered a massive universe and unprecedented space exploration. The budget and release mismatch is also evident in Star Citizen, whose release date was once targeted for 2014. Other game launch predictions were also terribly inaccurate, leading to a lot of mistrust. This huge media storm surrounding the missed release dates has meant that many people have completely overlooked the fact that the MMO part of Star Citizen is already quite playable, including many powerful and innovative features, such as the zero loading screen planetary transitions.
This is madness!
And a persistent universe in which things keep existing where you put them. But not only that, in October last year, CIG proudly announced that the highly anticipated single-player campaign Squadron 42 is now feature complete and has entered the polishing phase, marking a milestone in development.
Now we're in polishing phase on Squadron 42. You will start to see a lot more things coming to Star Citizen, as well as overall progress on the persistent universe.
The funding stats prove that more and more citizens are joining the project. CIG has now raised almost $700 million USD via funding and is the most expensive project in gaming history. Most of the revenue is generated by the highly lucrative ship purchases. Hundreds of different spaceships can already be flown by players in the alpha, showing extreme attention to detail and lore, which helps to captivate players. Next to Stanton and Pyro, 100 different star systems are planned, which can already be viewed on a map on their website. The current multiplayer experience in Star Citizen offers diverse mission types, including ground and space combat, delivery, racing, mining, salvaging, exploration, and sightseeing. Players can engage in pirating, bounty hunting, and earn in-game currency for new gear and ships. An economic system will also exist, and partially does already. Players can pursue professions and jobs, form guilds, friendships, and rivalries. One can only imagine how far this development can be taken, such as a real estate system, possible scripting by the players for their own individualization of mechanics, etc. What else would you like to see in the game? Let us know in the comments below. What blows your mind in theory still needs to be more convincing in practice. Patch 3.0 in 2017 changed a lot regarding player interaction with the universe. Nonetheless, the ambitious sci-fi title has felt more like a tech demo with numerous bugs and problems than a well-rounded new space experience. This is set to change in 2024. At the end of 2023, the developers introduced a new chapter with patch 3.22. The update should have noticeably changed the perception of many players. In addition to the already developed persistent entity streaming, which enables a persistent universe for all players, the time has come for another vital step: server meshing, which is currently being extensively tested by Evocati members. These are a selected group of players who have shown that they can write helpful bug reports in the issue council and are given access to test builds on the PTU servers in advance. Star Citizen's recent server meshing playtest achieved a significant development milestone. This test successfully meshed two servers, Stanton and Pyro, with 100 players each, demonstrating minimal crashes and rapid server recovery thanks to the new replication layer system. However, AI responsiveness was limited, and there were server crashes when players traveled between Stanton and Pyro. We are talking about the so-called static server meshing, i.e., fixed servers assigned to specific star systems and connected to each other, which is currently being tested. A further step would be to divide the star systems into several servers for better performance. In the case of Stanton, for example, this would be one server each for Microtech, Crusader, Hurston, and ArcCorp, which could ensure stable performance in the event of intensive player traffic at specific points. This technology takes Chris Roberts' vision of a single, playable, seamless universe a huge step forward. Finally, it should allow thousands of players to play simultaneously on a single shard, i.e. a single game world. Instances and loading sequences between the systems will be gone. The next big step will be dynamic server meshing, where the number of servers is automatically scaled up or down, depending on where a lot of performance is needed. In the case of a huge space battle, for example.
As more and more people come in, you spin up more and more servers, and they all mesh together, so you can ultimately have, hundreds, if not thousands of people all simulating essentially in the same instance.
The actual release, patch 3.22, also gave us a significantly improved salvage system, which enables the complete salvage of ships and introduced new vehicles such as the Origin X1 and the Origin X1 Velocity. Microtech and Hurston were expanded to include additional outposts. A new hair system has also been integrated, giving players more customization options and new cargo containers that allow smaller items to be stored in larger containers. And look what comes next. The upcoming patch 3.23 brings us a ton of fresh and improved content. The core feature awaiting us here is the replication layer update, intended to prepare the server meshing environment that's just been tested. Furthermore, the master modes are coming, which should solve existing problems in the flight and combat system. These modes differ from the current flight mode, in which ships can accelerate from 0 to 1200 meters per second. With the master modes, there is a mode called SCM, Space Combat Maneuvers, for normal actions, such as weapons, shields, mining, and a navigation mode for fast flight. In SCM, speed is limited, while many abilities are disabled in navigation mode.
A rework of the flight and combat system to essentially try and solve a lot of the problems that players I've had with the flight experience.
Master mode is the thing that makes ship combat exciting and making sure that the ships that you have in the game perform in the roles that we have envisioned for them.
We can also look forward to the new character customizer, GravLiv Races and Arena Commander, that's Gravitational Levitation, a rework of the star map and the MOBA class, personal hangars, dynamic crosshairs, a new and improved player interaction system, and more. The next alpha will be released in Q2, probably in April, and can already be tested in the public test universe.
Target destroyed.
The new update clearly shows us how much CIG is getting ready for the next major leap, Alpha 4.0, which awaits us in the fourth quarter of the year. It will officially include static server meshing. As mentioned before, the Stanton and Pyro systems each form a server connected via so-called jump gates, which transfer player information when switching between systems. So we won't have that server meshing via replication layers just yet, but think of it as a big precursor to that. The extensive content scheduled for the first half of 2024 positions the year as a crucial period for the game's development and has sparked our eager anticipation once again. Granted, Star Citizen seems to be a never-ending story, but as the roadmap indicated, development is in full swing, growing the title constantly, just like the verse. What about you? Are you already planning to support Second Life and Star Citizen? Make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe to support us. I salute you, and we'll see you at the terminal, baller.